And now, may the final battle begin. What's up, guys? I'm Pencil here to do a breakdown / review of chapter 377 of Black Clover, which is known as Clash. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I kinda like completely slipped on Black Clover, but I'm gonna cover it now that it's ending or it feels like it's ending. Who knows? Maybe I'm assuming it's probably gonna end this year, maybe end of this year. I could see like literally 6 whole more chapters of actually dealing with Lucius, considering how much time we dedicated to other little mini arcs, considering this is the final villain and our main 2 heroes, and also the fact we probably do need an epilogue of sorts to see who actually becomes the Wizard King, what happened to everyone else after this battle, the restoration of the world. So like there's definitely, I feel like, a good chunk of time left, but I could definitely see Black Clover ending end of 2025, possibly like December. No, maybe not December, maybe September, depending if he keeps to the 3-month range, which is good. I'm hoping he does because he's been cooking crazy. But of course, we are here. We shall be here. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact. Wait. They don't love. Okay, let's stop. But I love this color page. I love this color page for a couple different reasons. Number one, not only is it just, once again, Tabata flexing his absolute skill as an artist. Like, I know his main competition, his main rival, quote unquote, even though they're definitely homies, his main opponent was Kohei Horikoshi. And you don't really fight Kohei Horikoshi in terms of artistic quality. You just don't. Like, the only person who does and then beats him down is Murata, because Murata's a monster. Murata's an animal. He's a different beast. He's a creature beyond creatures. But like, Murata don't do weekly manga. You do bi-weekly, tri-weekly, whatever he feels like releasing One Punch Man is when One Punch Man comes out. So like, I feel like we can't even include it. In terms of weekly shonen mangaka, yeah, does Horikoshi grab like the rest of the competition and shake him down by the throat and the thumb to the ground and stomp on him? Absolutely. But, all that aside, Tabata's a fantastic artist, knows how to use colors really, really well, knows how to define and use, honestly, the variations of black and white really, really well. He knows how to use that grayscale beautifully, and this is just another example of that. Artistically, this color page is amazing. Look at the different details, even the fading of it, right? Showing how, honestly, I think it's like a symbolic way to show that Black Clover may or not be ending this year, but also just from like how much these 2 characters have gone through. And I say these 2 characters because this is a double color page featuring Asta and Yuno, seeing the way both of them are somewhat fading and as the white shatters, because ultimately they're reaching out to literally shatter fate in a way, as we'll find out in a next chapter review. But with it being the case, that's really, really beautiful. And another thing I like, and not one, because I already covered the one. 2, the thing I like is how the hand that Asta's reaching out with is his right hand. The right hand that is consumed by darkness, consumed by malice, consumed by that negative energy, the anti-magic. That arm, that's what he reaches out with. That is where he shows his true hands. He's reaching out. And once again, going on to shatter fate. And we'll get a very important parallel of this alongside Yuno's hand, which is consumed by the mana. These 2 monsters, these 2 creatures, these 2 anomalies, for all intents and purposes, the reincarnation of a human and elf royal bloodline possible king, and the flaw of the world, they parallel so perfectly here. And the fact that they reach out their hands, which are both covered by what they do to break reality, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. And ultimately, I also like how they reach out opposite hands. Yuno reaches out his left hand, also reaches out his right. They parallel perfectly. They are the right and left hand. Ultimately, it's why if I wouldn't be shocked if by the end of the series we find out that they both end up becoming Wizard King, because like ultimately they are the left and right hand. It's very much, I mean, I wouldn't say it even works like a Naruto and Sasuke kind of dynamic, because like these 2 are homies, have been homies, have never not been homies. One has never really chased the other, except in like the chasing of like power progression in that top spot. So ultimately, I don't know. I'm very interested to see how this dynamic ends up playing out until the very end, because they have been homies since homies have been homies, and they have been, honestly, this may be a hot take. This may be crazy, blasphemous, buku, bonkers, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think they are the best balanced. Is that true? Yeah, I'd say it is. I'd say they're the best balanced protagonist and deuteragonist that I've seen in shonen since Naruto and Sasuke. Because like that's the thing, Shippuden especially is so heavily balanced around Sasuke and his involvement in the narrative that I feel like I still have to give it to Naruto and Sasuke being number 1, though it's a completely different dynamic in terms of like 2 characters being rivals and then believably being rivals and believably keeping up with each other and evolving in their own unique same ways. I think they actually just do it. in literally almost in the same vein as Naruto versus Sasuke. I believe in this rivalry and dynamic way more than I believe in Midoriya and Bakugo, for example. Or technically, like, they weren't ever rivals, but like, for my Chainsaw Man fans out there, your Akis and your Denjis, like, way more than that. Even more than Goku and Vegeta, honestly. Like, I just genuinely feel this rivalry, this bond, this connection between these two so much more because Tabata has done such a fantastic job of writing it. But enough glaze of the cover page, enough glaze of the dynamic. Let's hop right into the chapter itself. So we open up, and we do get to see that everything is essentially wrapping up and winding down. Naturally, we've been covering a bunch of thick, juicy, scrumptious, and delicioso arcs. This, obviously, is the battle against... I should have looked up his name. I looked up the siblings' names. I did the live reaction. You can check it over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You become a member for as little as $3 a month. I looked up the siblings' names because I didn't remember their names. Where is that cellular device? I gotta look up his name. Nacht brother. What is his name? I'm gonna remember it the moment I put it into the search engine. But it's too late because it's not coming to mind right now. Licht? Nope. I remember who Licht is. I do not remember Nacht's brother's name. What is it? Not Nacho. Not Nacho. Please, not Nacho. Please autocorrect. I'm begging you. Morgan. Gosh darn it, Morgan. But obviously the last couple groups of chapters have been wrapping up big, chunky, hefty, juicy, scrumbly fights in their own unique ways. And I feel like we did hit the heavy hitters, the thicky boys, the juicy boys, the ones that you kind of needed to see. And we did definitely hit some ones that you could have argued we didn't need to see, but I'm glad we did anyway. Obviously the big, juicy, hefty, thick, scrumbly ones are the entire Nacht, Morgan, Yami, Ichika plotline, the whole dual siblings plotline, siblings separated by worlds plotline that had to be wrapped up and was wrapped up in a very beautiful way. This is what I believe to be the Silver plotline. I want to say it is because I can't exactly tell. I couldn't tell during live reaction. I still can't tell here, but still, I believe that plotline was wrapped up very, very beautifully. And even Meryl, I'd say it's weird. Because I wouldn't say Marileona had any specific connection to the guy she was attacking, right? That was just one of the random ones in my opinion. But still, it worked so well for Marileona as a character and came to a perfect culmination of her. Manga and Luck got their own little intense battle and section of chapter. Overall, I think Tabata Sensei, if he had to pick and choose, okay, I want to keep this fight and I want to elaborate on this fight and this fight and this fight, and I'll sack this, and this. The ones he sacked, while they could have definitely been interesting, and I get it, considering they're all fighting the same opponent, and we obviously cannot let any of those opponents win against our current cast and crew, I think we got the most interesting stuff for the characters who had open plot threads that either pertain to Lucius, pertain to other characters they were fighting alongside, so on and so forth. So when Andromelic declares, "Who would have thought they take out all the Archangel Paladins?" So when he says that, it's clearly Tabata through Andromelic all right, we're done with this portion of the arc, time to head to the final battle. Because Andromelic declares, yeah, they're better than I thought. It may only be a matter of time for the other fights as well. Now, obviously, I assume many others, because I don't think it's been confirmed. Whose side is he truly on? What's his deal? We all know he's not trustworthy. But I still feel like Andromelic, he gives me simultaneously, how do I put this? He gives me Obito vibes when Pain was still controlling the Akatsuki, but obviously that reveal didn't happen until after Pain already fell, so I feel like that's not really one that I can say is fair. But essentially, he does feel like more of a mastermind six of the side character. But I don't want to say he's a Black Zetsu. That's the thing. I don't think Lucius is gonna get stabbed in the back by Andromelic, and we're gonna suddenly reveal the true origin of magic, and then Yuno and Asta are gonna work together, and they steal away the true origin of magic in the moon. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't get those vibes in particular from Andromelic, but I just don't trust him. And I feel like this character has been alive so long and present in the narrative for so long, and it feels weird that he's kind of just going unaddressed, considering he keeps popping up. So I don't know. I'm watching you, Andromelic, because I don't trust you. But with it being the case, we do get to see all these other battles essentially finished. We don't necessarily get to see them fully finished, the Lucius clones are technically still around in all these panels, but we're seeing them get defeated. Henry, the glorious, legendary, scrumptious Black Bolt King, just straight up, he Iron Man unibeams his Lucius clone out of existence. We see Vanessa, and I am genuinely not sure who these two are. Oh wait, no. I am sure. See, I forgot because I forgot the live reaction, but I do remember now. This is the Cursed Trio. It's Charlotte, then William, both who have their cursed abilities, and then they're being amped by Gosh? No. What is his name? It's a G, isn't it? It's a G? Yeah, because Gosh is the mirror guy. Yep. Henry? No. Gordon. I knew it was a G. But they're both being amped by Gordon, and they're taking down their respective clones, which is good to see. I'll admit, though, I kind of wish we got more of him, because we know William has a very strong tie and connection to Lucius, so I do feel bad that his fight kind of got, like, kicked to the side, but still, like, we've had many moments for him. It's okay that fight got pushed. Same thing with Henry. And then we have Vanessa and Gray both taking down their Lucius clone, seemingly enough through deconstruction, which is a crazy pull, but I do like that. And I do like how ultimately it is, even if we don't get to see the fight, I like that it's Vanessa, someone who wields the string of fate, and Gray, someone who controls the biological structure of things, who take down Lucius, a clone of Lucius at least, who wants to control fate and destiny itself and write the story himself, essentially, and has complete control over biological matter. Because, he has absorbed his siblings' abilities and he has his own abilities. So, I really like that. I think it's a neat little detail. That's really, really cool. But we see they defeat him. And then this one, I'm extra not sure on who it is. I wasn't able to remember. I'm assuming... Oh, wait, never mind. I get it. I know. That's Gosh. Gosh. Essentially, it's Mirror Guy. And he's mirroring all the mirrors and essentially annihilating all of these people here, all the different angels. And we see Charmy, who's up here. And I want to show, but the thing is, who is this? Oh, wait, yeah, I know. See, that's the thing. It takes a second, but my brain, it be clicking. Because we see Sakurai seal away and, seemingly enough, banish this Lucius clone. We see Zoro seemingly absorb and trap the magic of this Lucius clone, presumably to annihilate it. And then we see Charmy preparing to swing on this Lucius clone who's being sealed by Sakurai. And we have, what is his name? Finral, guiding through portals and manipulations and like that. So overall, a nice combo tree. We essentially address all the Black Bulls who aren't going to get their own chapters dedicated to them, giving them their own final fights against their respective Lucius clones, or at least panels of it. I think they all came out really, really nice. And of course, we see Adramel declare, "Did Lucius see this forehead? Now then, all that's left is..." See, that's the thing. That's the bottom. Once again, and I get it. Not even for the release format, but I think based on what he's already shown us, since he showed us the Yami family conclusion, he showed us the Morgan and Nacht family conclusion, he showed us the Noel Silva family conclusion, he showed us Lockenmon, he showed us Berliona. I'm not saying that these characters don't deserve more extensive fights, but if they were gonna get him, it would have happened before. Going to them and not immediately going to the final battle with Lucius with Asta and Yuno would have been it would have been a narrative or pace killer, even if it was still releasing weekly. But I think it would have been a confusing writing choice, and I think it would have sucked a lot of stuff out, considering obviously the main characters are going to win, the major characters are going to win, so why would these lesser characters lose or anything like that? It wouldn't make sense narratively from a writing perspective, so I'm glad that they at least got touched on. And it makes sense that they get touched on after the fact, because you want to still give not the illusion, but you want to give the concept of this big, crazy, bad battles going on. What better way to do that than have these battles be unresolved until, okay, we're done. It's time to have them resolved. So overall, solid writing choice. I'm glad we got to see all the different battles. But of course, we must lead into Asta and Yuno versus Lucius. And we see that Yuno, sleep with a mercy, Yuno. That man is built fundamentally different. Him and Belle both. As she complains, you know how hard it is to blow this long and hard. Okay, I'm sorry. But we see Yuno declare, "Oh, great work, Belle. Neverland's just about hit its limit, huh?" Yes. But that's still so crazy, because remember, everyone here who's not named Asta is amped by Yuno, using the Neverland spell. And I forget, I don't remember the full details, but I think even the Lucius clones and the Paladins and the Angels, they're all debuffed too, or at least they aren't able to do as much as they should do, either because of the buffs or because they're also debuffed on top of the buffs, which is crazy that Belle maintained that on her own, / you don't maintain that at all. Like, I know she's one of the great spirits, but still, that is absurd. Shout out to this man's monopool, bro. Like, the numbers have got to be in the millies, dog. Like, he might as well, not, obviously he's going to do something that shows that he does not have, like, Roland's affinity for some of these things, but he might as well have, because, jeez. And we see that Asta, realizing that Yuno's a little bit low on juice, and obviously they need, essentially, to give him a senzu bean before they go and fight the final villain. He says, Yuno, here! And Yuno is shocked to have a nice, calm little treat, a nice little puffy cake. And he says, it's from Miss Charmy. And Yuno's more than happy to say, magic recovery, excellent. As he and Belle both, I'm grateful, just this once, both tear into the cake in order to get their magic back out. But I do think it's nice. Once again, this has been a long since established metric. In another series where if this hadn't been set up that Charmy could do this, it'd be like, really? You might as well just rip a senzu bean out of the manga. But it makes perfect sense. And it also makes sense that Charmy would do this because very specifically she would need to probably make magic restoration pastries for everybody, considering they're going into a big bad final war. So it all makes sense that it happens here. It makes sense that Yuno gets it when he gets it from Asta of all characters. But of course, we see that Asta says, don't worry, it's simple. Now, the two of us only have to take out Lucius and shut down this huge spell. You say that like it's so easy. Asta, my boy, you say it like it's so easy. Oh, he's gonna give you back shots. Maybe not. Because we see the two fly up and they land within the throne room of he who views himself the king of gods. And Yuno and Asta both land. And Lucius greets them. So, you made it. Both flank him. Asta on the left, Yuno on the right. Yuno. Asta. Now, I'll admit, it's kind of crazy that bro's just chilling here in base. And it honestly, like, the one thing that I'll admit, especially thinking about it now, I wonder, but then again, it seems like it's the real him. Because he'll go on to panic next chapter. But, like, it feels weird that he's just, vibing here in base. Like, you think he'd be, like, conducting the spell or something. Maybe the spell's like, maybe it's like a Agooba, and he said the magic word, so now he just needs to wait for it. But it still seems so strange that he's just like, Asta, what's Gucci geeking, my boys? You want to run my fade? And of course, they're going to want to run his fade. Because we see that Lucius says, it's a shame. I see you intend to obstruct my truly peaceful world to the bitter end. And that, like, well, I'll let Yuno and Asta tear into the man because it's hypocritical, it's empty, it's false, but let's see why. As Asta says, I don't know whether that world is a good thing or not. Oh man, oh no, I was just talking about how I was trying to like avoid black tattoos with outer belly, but this is like it's so Naruto coded now. Think about the ending of this; it is very Naruto coded in terms of like the big. Well, then again, unironically, not really. Like, it's moderate Naruto coded. It is not Kaguya Naruto coded, nor Sasuke versus Naruto coded at the very end. Like, it's not coded like that. But at least for moderate motivation, the Project Tsukunome, like, it does remind me a bit of that. Because we see Asta say, I've got one question for you, though. Somebody you made into a truly happy person regretted what she'd done the moment she wasn't like that anymore. Sister Lily cried. If you're bringing about a correct future, then why did a good person like her go through something like that? So, this is the big thing about Lucius and his world. It's very specifically his world. If I wasn't afraid of getting copyright struck, though I think you can play it. Like, it's something. I'd be proud to play it. I literally play, it's his world. I love that. From Sonic 06, I play Sonic's theme. But it is his world. Meaning that people aren't actually happy. Like, and you can even tell, once again, as Asta mentions, through Sister Lily, clearly, it is just deep-seated mind/soul control. Like, remember, Lucius has control over all four aspects of a human being. Their blood, their bones, their body, which makes up blood and bones, obviously. But, like, their blood, their bones, their body, and their soul. Those are the four magics of Big Lucius. So, it's clear he legit just rewrites people. And when plan to rewrite literally everybody to serve their respective purpose, only maybe keeping their magic around. But even then, he probably wouldn't. That's the thing. Lucius wants his world to be made in his... I'm getting... Oh, my word! His keyblade is right up there. It's off camera. But essentially, I'm getting massive Xehanort flashes, too. Where, like, he wants to create the perfect ideal world, but it's in his image. Just as Xehanort want to create the perfect ideal world ruled by him. The difference between what Lucius and Madara do is that Madara makes a perfect dream world for every individual. Lucius makes the perfect dream world for himself, where he's in complete control of everything. And Xehanort kind of makes the perfect world for himself, but he mainly just wants to recreate the world for the sake of the light, because, or KHC Xehanort. BBS Xehanort too. I know, it's in the secret reports for BBS. I just still don't like that motivation. I just preferred Xehanort when he wanted the knowledge, wanted the power, wanted the chaos and creation, wanted to see what would happen at another Keyblade War. I prefer that Xehanort motivation, but still, there's the one that's established in BBS and followed up in Case 3. But essentially, Lucius is obviously more towards the I want to control everything because I can kind of character, antagonist, and final villain than the whole, like, I do this for the sake of the people thing. More like what Madara was claiming to do, despite how many people he slaughtered. And we see Lucius declare, it's all your fault, Asta. And, like, the one thing I will give to Madara, that man can hit an expression. Because if this ain't the most disappointed dad look out there, like, Lucius is like, oh, son, if you don't hold that flashlight properly, I will reach through this phone and beat you. But we see he says, it's all your fault, Asta. You are the world's flaw. When you get involved, people end up suffering. Come on, why won't you understand? And here's the thing, right? He's just wrong. Like, notably, there are definitely arguments you can make about certain main characters actually kind of actively making some scenarios, obviously not all, but some scenarios in their universe worse. I am personally not a Goku hater. I love Goku. But he fumbled the bag sometimes. He fumbled the bag. You can go through almost down every major, like, section of Dragon Ball, whether it be in early Dragon Ball, whether it be in Z, whether it be in Super, heck, even in GT. Goku fumbles the bag sometimes. He's a mess. And sometimes if you remove him from a certain scenario, or possibly remove him at all, certain things wouldn't have happened, or change his actions, stuff like that. But ultimately, I can't say that for Asta. Asta is just the net positive. If you remove Asta from darn near any arc he's in, things get worse. There's like no end, if, ands, or buts about it. From the most recent arc before this Final War arc, which was the Land of the Sun arc, whether it be the arc before that in the fight against Lucci, whether it be the arc before that, like, you can go throughout the entire series where Asta is a prevalent character, and you remove him, things just get worse. People end up dying. So, like, Lucius is just flat out wrong here. I can't even begin to, like, sympathize or rationalize. No, the only reason he's mad that Asta exists is because Asta was out of the purview of his plan, out of the purview of his foresight, because his abilities don't work on him. That's the whole reason that Lucius is essentially trying to gaslight Asta here. And it's just gaslighting. And I love that ultimately, Yuno's like, if you don't shut your mouth, you won't even read the manga, bro. As he says, unbelievable. I knew it. You're not some god who sincerely wishes for peace for us humans. You're just a human who doesn't like it when things don't go its way. And honestly, he bored. He spit. Like, that's, if that ain't nothing but the truth, dog. He very specifically only wants things to go his way. That's the thing. It's why he's different from Madara. I know people will be like, oh, you see the Madara comparisons too. Copy Clover. No, I think he's different enough from Madara because he legit wants it all for himself. Lucius is purely, I want people to act as I view them in my world versus my rules on my terms and nothing else. Lucius hates the concept of free will. That's ultimately what Lucius is fighting against the most. And I love that because it's the exact opposite of our two main characters who specifically fight for the freedom of everybody and everything, in spite of their immense power. Realistically, who's stopping Asta if he turns around and becomes a villain? Who's stopping Yuno if he turns around and becomes a villain? Who's stopping the both of them if they team up and turn around and become villains? Nobody. But it's simply that the idea that they believe everyone else should have freedom, while Lucius believes that everyone should be subjugated by him. Because he has all the power. He has the right. He controls every aspect of the body. So why should any human being be able to rebel against them? So he makes himself a god. He makes himself a deity by absorbing his siblings' powers, by absorbing Lucci, by becoming a master of both space and time. He's done everything in his ability to transcend his inability to control everything. But ultimately, he's going to find out that very humanity, that very human weakness inside of him is likely going to be his greatest downfall. As we see, Yuno declares that Lucius is nothing but a self-righteous fool. And you can see, I think to some degree, like, it's hard to tell with Lucius. And that's the thing. And I do like that. Once again, praising Tabata's artistic work with expressions. You can almost tell that to some degree he is disappointed. Like look at his, like, that, he's, like, smiling. But he's very, once again, it's the dad look. Like, I don't know. I'm not a father yet, and I will feel bad for if I ever do have kids. I feel bad for it whenever I have to give them the dad look, but I'll have to do it. But like, he very much looks like he, like he. You could almost imagine that he's like shaking his head to himself, like, oh, these poor children, not understanding the beauty of my creation. Like, ultimately, he's obviously still childish and he's a man locked in his ways, unwilling to look at the purview of anyone else, and believes that ultimately everything should follow his will. But still, he is an older man. He still is a person who believes in this for himself. And even if he may honestly genuinely be a bit more Xehanort-esque. I'm sorry, I'm leaping towards all these different villains because I've been thinking a whole lot, and I may even do like comparison videos between like Xehanort and Madara and Lucius in particular. But essentially, he may even be more Xehanort-esque, where he's like, free will is a curse upon you all. I can make you all equal. And that's kind of what he's been lying about building. But ultimately, his idea of making everyone equal, removing any individuality and doing all that, it's still just for him, right? That's the thing. While it sounds altruistic in some sense, if everyone's equal, there is no disparity. There is disparity, because he would be the one on top versus everyone else beneath him. So, like, it is a rough spot, but I see the disappointment in him. He genuinely looks like maybe, just maybe, he would have at least wanted Yuno. Maybe not Asta. He seems very biased against Asta. However, with it being the case, well, obviously for good reason, Asta is the flaw of the world. However, we do get to see that, once again expressing his disappointment, Lucius says, so trying to persuade you is pointless. And he hits Meli. We'll get to it. But he starts to transform, and we see the three Zogratis siblings, or at least the remains of them and their grimoires, begin to be siphoned for their strength. Vanica with her blood magic, Dante with his body magic, and Xenon, the closest to Lucius in terms of appearance, with his bone magic. And Lucius rises from his throne, transcended, truly becoming that of a god, wielding a perfect body in perfect form. And I'll admit, I'll be honest with you, me to you to me, yeah. Not my favorite design. Not my favorite design, not even for the sense that it's like a bad design. It's just, I feel like it's not as good as his initial transform design, but at the same time, I do get the differences between this design and the previous initial transform design. The horns here are much bigger, it's overall much simpler, and ultimately, the thing about Lucius is that everything needs to be simpler. Everything needs to be broken down to its purest, simple, most simple and fundamentals. So this more pure, cleaner, almost entirely opaque form works in comparison to his much more dramatic and more human form, if you will. Because even his human form is implicated by the gray deer that he once led, or I forget exactly what they're called. I think they're the gray deer or the like horned deer, whatever. That more human form, which still embraces like the cloak and everything, all that, it makes sense. It's Lucius essentially still playing human. This is now Lucius attempting to give all that away, revert into this most pure and simple, plain god. But of course, he still is human. If not bound by the black hair upon his head, it's the fact that he still takes a humanoid shape, and he declares, I'll defeat you two and create an ideal world. And he proceeds to beam at them. But of course, Asta and Yuno ain't going for all that, as they declare, we'll smash it all up and right along with you. And they lunge into battle. So, overall, a W chapter. You couldn't tell by how much I was yapping during the chapter. I ultimately really like what Tabata did with it, and I am definitely excited to see how this final battle plays out. I do wonder if anyone else is going to get their toes up in here. I think Asta and Yuno are the perfect people to end this, and I think everyone else is very, very tired. But considering Black Clover is definitely a series about like friendship, and not just the bonds between like one or two people, but the bonds of camaraderie and family and community, I'm very interested to see how everyone else ends up playing a final role in this final battle, and how they all come together to take it down Lucius, the man who believed himself a god. But with that being the case, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave tear it all down. Tear it all down. That's a chunky. That's one of my chunkier passwords. Tear it all down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that lonely case bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, do have a picture down below. You can support me for as low as $1. Come on. He thinks exclusive videos, early content, and more. So now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions to every series I have to review, including a 22 it's a chunky reaction to this very chapter and the next chapter of Black Clover. And also, if you become a $25 Patreon or $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You can drop 5 into a short video, 20 into a long video, or any views at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Got the Pencil, writing off.
I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Brandon Payne, Glacier XC, G Prosper, Planet Crone, and Zeta. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kirai Void, Kevin Encarnacion, Igneal Lind, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our ink tier patrons: Fine, Austin Wimberly, A Uchiha, Yuki Ally, and Carlo Alaimo. Then I'd like to give a gargantuan thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And then I'd like to give a big old gargantuan thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Overlord Zero, Waki Munoz, and iDemokami. And I'd like to give a legendary, top of the line, sublime, sweet mother of mercy, super slopping, juicy scrumdiddlyumptious thank you to our that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.